Hello, Tony. It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
For 3 decades, scholars in corporate governance have been swindling between those who push for more powerful shareholders, especially institutional shareholders, or those who think that boards should be more active, who should be monitoring the companies, transnational companies, and should be thinking about strategy, setting strategy. And now, furthermore, this sets the question for what is the role of the board, what are the skills that directors should have, and especially responding to geopolitical risks around the world, this question becomes more important. So my question to you, for having led many clients through complex financial and international economical policies, what are some risks and challenges that multinational companies are facing, and as well as some opportunities given the new geopolitical environment?
I think this is actually one of the critical questions for all of our, especially large firms operating across borders where you have different views on what the role of directors are. I think my advice to my companies has always been to be as diverse as you can on your board and draw from different experiences, because although we know that we are in a dynamic, changing environment, by its very nature, we don't know what all of those changes are going to be in the future. So you want people who can draw on different kinds of experiences and bring that to the board. The companies that are dealing with these issues today, trying to figure out how to set themselves up for success in the future, have a very difficult challenge in that they have, many of them, grown up in a period and become large companies in a period where their focus was on almost exclusively, or maybe at a very high priority, what is the return to investors? And the return to investors is obviously critical, right? There has to be a return on capital for these companies for them to be successful. But I really think the most successful companies in the future are going to have a much broader view of who the stakeholders are that they need to care about. And so if they're thinking about their employees, and if they're thinking about their clients, and they're thinking about their suppliers in ways that they hadn't thought about before. They're thinking about the communities in which they're in. So you would want to find directors and have directors who have that much wider aperture, a more broad view of what the role of the company is in selecting talent. If you want to be a world-class company, you need to have world-class talent. If you want to be a world-class company, you need to have the best suppliers, not just the lowest cost suppliers. You need to be respected in your community. And I think you asked about the changing dynamics in the world with, we have the rise of populism, and we've seen concern from citizens with the way their economy is going and the opportunities for them. The answers to a lot of those questions are going to have to be supplied in part by governments, and governments have a big challenge ahead of them, but also by the firms that are employing people and creating opportunity every day. So that's a very big responsibility. If they're not delivering satisfying answers for their workers and for the communities that they're in, then you're going to see policy changes from government that impact their business models, and maybe not in great ways. One of the consequences that we're seeing of this recent wave of populism, for example, is the effort to block or stop or prevent additional trade deals. Now, we had a big challenge to try to explain the value of trade deals and explain why they help grow economies and elevate standards of living, and we didn't do a very good job of that. So the proponents of trade have to do that. Companies need to do that. They also need to pay attention to how this rise of populism is going to change laws, but things like tax policy and energy and environmental policy, and how those changes are going to impact their businesses as well. In some cases, it could be, it could provide opportunities. So companies need to be on the lookout for that. They need to be engaged with policymakers and help them understand where those opportunities are, so that they can go on and create opportunities for people.